Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and today I have a special guest today for the podcast slash YouTube channel of Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. And before I introduce my lovely, beautiful guest, let me just ask you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification button, and definitely share to people who are interested in podcasts where I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, Easter egg breakdowns, podcast theories of Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and all that. So help me out. I definitely appreciate it. So, no further ado, let me introduce you to this lovely woman who is a cosplayer, an actress, and she's from New England. Shout out to that to the New England. And her favorite Marvel character is Silk, the one and only Sydney Chea.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, hello, and welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for having
coming
me.
on the show
Yeah.
here on Great Talking Entertainment official channel. The people here, they love the nerdy stuff. They love the Marvel, the DC, the Star Wars, and many, many more. They love the anime.
hmm
So all we're gonna ask you is million of nerdy things, and we want to hear from your view of it. So, can you explain to us how'd you get into cosplay?
Yeah, for sure. So it was a little bit before the pandemic struck everything. Um, I specifically started in December 2019. I I was home from school on break and I discovered TikTok, discovered that there were a ton of Spider-Man cosplayers on TikTok. Um, the two biggest ones I can name off the top of my head that I found were Tommy Knight and Taya Miller. Um, Fell in love with their content, fell in love with everything I saw on like all these Spider-Man cosplayers being themselves and just having fun on the platform. And I realized I really wanted to do the same thing. So what I ended up doing was I went to a local thrift store and found everything I needed to do a Michelle Jones cosplay from the Tom Holland Spider-Man. And that was the first cosplay I did for TikTok and started posting about that, started having fun doing that, duetting some people and whatnot. And I knew I wanted to get a silk suit. I knew Cindy Moon is my favorite Marvel character all time. And I knew I wanted to cosplay her. So I had saved up money, bought my first suit, and started making videos as Cindy Moon. Fun fact, my first username on TikTok was Cindy Moon, but seven O's. I went by Cindy Moon. Um, yeah, and um at that time I was kind of pretending to be Cindy because when I started out, I originally went by a different name, and I was talking about it with one of my college friends about how I started doing this, and they immediately said, "Oh, you're doing that." Like, "Oh, you're doing that now." And I was like, "Oh, that's a it's, like it's a weird thing, I guess. I don't know." And so I decided that if it wasn't if it was a character, then it wasn't actually me. So I started really going in and like really trying to pretend I was Cindy. Um, and so that's where a lot of that came from. Like a lot of like my Cindy Moon content started from. And then over time, it took a few years, but over time I was like, I am my own person. I am more than just a Cindy Moon cosplayer because I was also doing other cosplays on the side, not just on the side, but I was also doing other characters and like creating OCs at the time and really, there's more than just Cindy Moon. There's other characters I really love. And so that's why I ended up going, you know what, I'm gonna change the name again to Cindy Che because um because I'm not just Cindy, it's not just about Cindy Moon, it's about everybody else that I really love character wise, and wanting to bring my love for these characters in the form of cosplay. um but yeah, I started as Marvel, so Michelle Jones and Cindy Moon, and then expanded from there. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
And um, if you read any of the Cindy Moon comic books, is there one that you like that you would like to see in the live action of how they may portray Silk, whether it's the MCU version or the Sony Marvel verse with
Yeah,
Morbius and the Madam Webs?
I the one storyline that really stuck to me is like the main storyline for her in her first set of comics, where she is ultimately looking for her family. Because the her story is really, she was locked away in a bunker for 10 years, and Peter found her, and um she comes back to this world 10 years later, and it's just like, what's happened? And she like, look, her family's missing, and she's trying to adjust to this life with like all this new stuff going on around her, while also like needing, wanting her family back. um so I feel like that plot in itself, it would be a very interesting story, just to see that, a girl that doesn't know what is going on nowadays, trying to figure out where her family is. I believe there is like a comic strip of her where she's just like, what's Facebook? I remember seeing that before. So I feel like it'd be like a funny thing, but at the same time with a serious undertone to it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, yeah, the one I like, and you brought that one. I like. I forgot the word, but it's because of the spider that bit her. She
Yeah.
she finds Peter Parker very attractive, and
Yeah, yeah.
I thought, oh, who out of all the actors, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, or Tobey Maguire, who deserves to have Silk as their love?
Oh, I do love all three of them. I my favorite version of Peter has been Tom Holland. That was the version I fangirled over during my high school days, and like during college especially too. I was because I am Spider-Man Far From Home came out when I was in college, and I remember bringing a ton of my friends to the movie theaters. I was just like, you have to watch this with me. We're all going to the theater and like screaming at like the whole plot and everything, and like the ending especially. Like I couldn't get over the ending for days after I saw that film. But no, it was Tom Holland Spider-Man that like really brought me into the MCU, and I was like really like invested in everything from those films. So
Awesome. And they so in Spider-Man, I want to say Homecoming,
mhm.
they had the actress Tiffany. I'm not gonna say her last name correctly, but it's Estenesten.
Yeah, yeah.
She and this is just what people have shown on their YouTube videos. I've seen on their TikTok, Instagram, that she was one Silk is actually on the bus on the spelling bee contest.
Hmm.
And I thought, but they never, Marvel Studios never confirmed that this actress is going to be the main Silk. Would you
Yeah.
be, would you, if, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but would you want her to continue to be Silk, or do you have any other actress in mind that you would like to see portray that character?
Yeah. First of all, I do follow Tiffany on Instagram, and I believe she is engaged, or I remember seeing her engagement, and I was like really excited for her. So I've been following her for forever, because she played that role. I feel like she would make a great Silk, but I also I think the girl that played Azula in the live action Avatar. I believe her name is Elizabeth Yu. Um, I think she would make a good Silk as well.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah, I
sure.
think she'd be fantastic. So,
Now, how do you feel where the MCU's at now? And just one last question about Silk.
mhm.
Do you want her to have the solo film, or do you hope that the TV series that they were originally going to produce for Amazon Prime that may still happen, but with the recent news that Sony may be buying Paramount, so they'll if they buy it, they'll own Paramount Plus streaming service.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it may be on that streaming platform. So which one for you would you rather have, the solo film or the series?
Oh, that's a good question. I know they've been talking about the series forever. Every time they make a slight update about the series, I get notified. People send me articles all the time about it. Like I'm just like, why are you the first person that you think of? But I mean, when you make a platform based on a character for so long, everybody's like is gonna be like, oh yeah, you got to know about this, and I'm just like, okay, yes, but the series has been talked about for so long that I feel like it'd be a miracle to see it happen, just like in any capacity. But I feel like having a solo film would also be fun as well. I don't have a preference on how I see Silk debuted in media, but seeing her as a character, like more than just the comics, will be great. Um, may I talk about Spider-Man 2 for a hot minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like the video game. Spoilers for anybody that hasn't played the game or seen clips of the game
Yeah,
or
if you haven't
just
seen it, pause it.
yeah, I know it's been out for a bit, but just in case. People like came to me and were just like, have you seen the ending of the game? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I went and sought out the final clip, and I started crying. I started crying when I saw her on screen, and I know it was just the back of her head, but they said her name and I just started crying. And like I told people I started crying, and they were all like, what? And I was just like, that was that was it felt like it was great to see her, even if it was for a slight moment, and like knowing that they might do something with it in the future in another game. Like I was just like, this is great. I love this. So yeah, yeah,
But it's been confirmed by the
yeah.
Sony Studios. And I was gonna ask you, what do you think the way they portray her in that ending of Spider-Man 2? Like, do you like that? And would you like to see that way of her being introduced in live action, or are you more to like, oh, do a comic book version of?
She definitely seems different than her comic book portrayal because she seems younger in the video game. I feel like either story would be very interesting because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what they're planning. So it'll it'll be interesting to see how they take her story and write it out. And yeah.
Because you know what, I was thinking because they want to do the Young Avengers, and Sony's always talked about doing a younger take on some of these Spider-Man characters and do spin-offs.
Yeah,
For example, they've been talking about Black Cat for a while too.
that is true.
And
Yes.
in comic books, a few comic books, I want to say Black Cat and Silk have teamed up in kind of like the like a Birds of Prey, but because sometimes Silk has been rolling with Agents of Shield,
Yes.
and Felicia's Hardy dad was a member of Shield. Now,
Yes.
obviously, spoiler alert for anybody who has not been keeping up with the MCU for a long time. So Shield's technically gone since Winter Soldiers, if I'm correct. And right now, Nick Fury's doing Sword, or I think Sword. So there's still a chance of those characters being secret agents for Nick Fury in that sense. But
Hmm.
I I really want to see that go down. And plus, we got the Fantastic Four. I know a lot of people have their opinions of who her love interest should be, but I would love to see them do the Johnny Storm or Johnny Flames. I mean, and
No, you
so
you had it right. Yeah.
oh right, okay, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, everybody, but I want to see that. I
I
want
would
to see
I
that.
would I would like to see that too. I my some friends and I remember we were really rooting for this one person to play Johnny Storm. They didn't get casted, but like that would have been hilarious if they got in. It was the same person that we were all thinking of. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because they got the actor from Stranger Things, and I forget his
Yes.
name. I apologize, everyone, but I was a fan of him in the last seasons of Stranger Things. Like
Oh,
he
for
was
sure.
really cool. He
I
was
loved
really
Eddie.
cool,
Yeah.
and he looks so different with his hair short. But
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like Kevin Feige could have kept the long hair, but it's his MCU. So
Yeah.
now let's talk about. I noticed I did a little digging on you that you like some Pokemon, and we
I
were
do.
talking earlier that you like animated series. Is it XY or
Yeah, XY and
XY?
XYZ. Yes.
What from you just being a fan of Pokemon, who are your favorite Pokemon in back then, and who's your favorite like right now for current?
My favorite Pokemon of all time is Eevee because I love
Eevee?
the idea. Yeah, I love the idea of the evolutions. I'm obsessed with that. I know for a fact my starter would be an Eevee. I was looking at a TikTok I made. Somebody liked a TikTok from years ago where I was pretending to be a Pokemon trainer, and in that video I had Eevee as my starter. And I know she's not technically a starter, but she's a starter for me. You know, I don't, I don't care. But nowadays, Leafeon is my favorite evolution of
Ooh,
Eevee. Yeah, I love Leafeon. And I noticed that I really like grass type Pokemon, so that I think that's why I went that route. But yeah, she's great. I have like art of Leafeon and a plushie of Leafeon and everything. So yeah,
I for me, I gotta go old school. I I love Pikachu. That's my OG
Pikachu's great.
favorite.
Yeah,
And then honestly, Eevee, but I like the I know people are gonna be mad, but I like the dark Eevee, the ghost one.
oh, Umbreon.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
like that one. And then I would say for me, for current, I would say I would say Leaf, one of the Leaf Pokemon.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't think of it, but oh, and Psyduck, he's my guilty
Psyduck's great.
pleasure of favorite. Like
Yeah,
if if Pokemon was like real like that, that's the one. Psyduck would be my main sidekick for life. Like because I just mess with him
we
all
lived
the
in a
time.
Pokemon world, we'd be a happier world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned that you're an actress. Have
Mhm.
you have you done any films that we can see, and or have you done any play?
I've done plays. I grew up doing musicals and I started doing films within the past year and a half. Um, Fun fact, I just booked a short film like that I'm filming soon. So,
Awesome,
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about that. But yeah, I've done a few short films. Not not like I'm not like 100, but like I've done like a small amount. And my main focus has been musical theater. I
I love music theater.
Oh, I love musical theater. Yes.
You know what got me into it was this is a classic Rent.
Yes, yes.
So I saw the movie like a long time ago, but then oh my I want to say one of my aunts took me to it and we saw Rent in Illinois.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then I was like, this is cool. This is what
Yeah.
I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And no, I cannot sing, but I can remember scripts and lines. But I try to like be good behind the scenes. So I love that world so much. Like
Hmm.
I mean, not long ago, I missed it. I was gonna see the Shrek musical, but I
That's a
missed
good musical. Yeah. And I know it's funny because like Shrek has been, Shrek is like sometimes a meme to people, but like the musical is really good.
it. Oh yeah.
Like that's I think the song's called Freak Flag. Like that song slaps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I even auditioned. I done Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the one I wanted, I still can't get right. I'm not gonna give up. They're always gonna have auditions, but I want to be part of Rocky Horror.
That would be fun. Yeah.
And there's only one role that I feel like I'd be perfect for is the macho guy, the strong guy. Like, but that's just me. I'm not giving up. But I think this
Yeah.
year is gonna be it.
Don't give up.
Now, what would you ever want to audition for, like the Marvel musical that they have
Ooh.
in? I think it was New York or California, whatever. Though, no, it had to be New York because they showed it in the Hawkeye series.
Oh, like if that was like a actual Broadway show.
I think it is. I think it
I know
is.
they did it at Avengers Campus
Oh,
for
they
a
did.
limited time, I believe. Yes. And it was
Okay.
like I think it was like a half an hour show. I saw clips of it. Spot on. That would be insanely fun to do. I do like I am still like building my voice up more. I recently started vocal training. Um, so I feel like I would need to build my voice up more if I ever want to like make it somewhere professionally. Um,
You can do it. I
but
believe in you.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Um, but yeah, vocal training has been very fun and eye-opening. I went into vocal training thinking I was an alto, and I even told my vocal coach I was like, I am an alto. And then she started doing warm-ups with me, and she was just like, girl, you're a soprano. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" So it was funny. So yeah.
Now, what advice would you give somebody who wants to get into cosplay?
Ooh. Um, If I was to give advice to anybody, I would say take your time, be kind to yourself throughout the whole process. And cosplay is cosplay. Any form of cosplay is cosplay, whether it be a closet cosplay or if you are making things from scratch or if you're buying things or thrifting things or, you know, 3D printing things. This craft is your own. And I know in this world it is easy to compare yourself to others, but you shouldn't really when it comes to cosplay. Um, you should be proud of the work you're doing, regardless of how you get your costume together. Um, and I say take it a day at a time and be kind to yourself because breaks are also important too. I would say breaks are important for any hobby. You don't want to oversaturate yourself with what you're doing. I actually just came back from a big break. Like I took like 3 or 4 months off of posting and it was good. I needed that time to reflect and take a step back and like really be like, why do I cosplay and why do I do this? And I do this because I love the characters I portray and I love the community that I've built with other people. Um, and like burnout's real and I wouldn't want anyone to go into this craft and then easily burn out. Um, because of, judgment or anything like that. Like, know that do this because you love the characters at the end of the day. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And before we wrap this up, there's anything I was gonna give you the time. Is anything that like maybe a future cosplay costume that you can give us the scoop on, and where can
Ooh.
everybody follow you at and keep up with all your amazing content you do?
Oh. So I go by, it's Cindy Che, so ITS Cindy SIN. No, not S. Oh, I just completely misspelled that. Wow. ITS CINDYCHEA. That's Instagram and TikTok. And I just came back from a break, so I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. But something I did talk about on my platform before I took the break was I was creating a new OC that was the daughter of Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon.
Ooh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah. That is a character that I've been slowly building, and I really like her look, and I'm really excited to bring her to life. And I'm really hoping to this summer go outside, make content, pretend I'm in Kumandra, and really just have fun with it. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for everybody for tuning in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official Channel. Keep it subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys. And thank you, Sydney.
Yeah, thank you for
Peace
having me.
and peace out.